Alright, so I'm going to wisdom from the Rebbe for today. So when the Tzemach Tzedek was a little boy, he learned in Cheder the first pasuk of this week's parsha, which says, Vayechi Yaakov Eretz Mitzrayim, that Yaakov lived in the land of Mitzrayim. And his teacher explained to him that this means Vayechi Yaakov. Yaakov had an amazing life. He was uplifted, and his best years were lived out in the land of Mitzrayim. When the Tzemach Tzedek came home, he asked his grandfather, the Alter Rebbe, how could it be that Yaakov Avinu, the holiest, the most chosen of the forefathers, was able to live his best years in the land of Mitzrayim? Mitzrayim was a terrible, low place. How could it be that those were his best years? The Alter Rebbe explained to him that we said already in last week's parsha that before Yaakov Avinu moved down to Mitzrayim, he sent Yehuda ahead of him in order to set up a yeshiva. Like it's explained in the Medrash, and Rashi brings that it says he sent Yehuda ahead of him means in order to establish a place for the Shvatim and their children to be able to learn Torah when Yaakov Avinu gets there. And so the Alter Rebbe explained to his grandson that when we learn Torah, we're becoming connected to God in a very, very special way. And therefore, when you're coming connected to God, no matter where it is, even in Mitzrayim, you're able to have such a great connection with God, it can have your best years even in Mitzrayim. And this is also a big lesson for us in our days. We have to know that when it comes to whichever gullus we're in, whatever situation a person finds himself in, step number one has to be to set up a yeshiva, to support the yeshiva, to make sure that the children are able to learn Torah. Not only Yaakov Avinu made sure that he himself could learn Torah, that the father, the older generation, should be able to deal with Judaism. But you have to establish also for the younger generation, the kids, the Shvatim's children should be able to learn Torah. And when we ensure that the Shvatim's children can learn Torah, then even if you're still stuck in gullus, you're in the lowest of places, you still have a great unity with God. And not only the actual children, but also the supporters, also the guys who help make sure that the yeshiva can exist. Have an amazing unity with God, much greater than anything else that can be accomplished. And even the best of years can be lived even in the worst lands. Even in the gullus, we can have an amazing connection with God through the power of Torah. L'chaim, l'chaim.